Hey guys, welcome. Today's practice, we're going to focus on a variety of different balancing postures, right? From standing ones to seated to a little bit more non-traditional, just as a way to really focus on finding where our midline is so that when things get a little wobbly, we always have this place that we're coming back to so that it feels like we're moving from our center, the place that maybe feels a little bit more connected than always just trying to move out from arms and legs. You don't really need much for props today. If you have a blanket, something to sit on for poses at the end or from hip opening postures, great. If not, no worries. We work around that. Let's go ahead and start in child's pose. And you can even use a blanket here if you want a little bit more support behind your knees or just underneath your knees for a little more cushion. Take your big toes together, knees out wide, and then walk your arms long out in front. Bring your forehead to your mat, or that's another place if you have a little bit more support. Sometimes the mat feels really far away when we start out. And as you get settled in, start to take a few fuller breaths. Don't rush it, don't force it. Just bring attention to breath. And see if even you can fill not just that space of your belly, but out to your side bodies, along the ribs, and into your back body as well. Might feel a little different if you haven't done that before. Just bring attention there, see what happens. And so this whole area of the torso we will work to turn on, engage, use to help us find stability in our balance. But here in these first few moments, let things get soft enough that it can just simply fill up with breath. Less about effort, more allowing. You might find it fills a little more naturally in some places than others. It's fine, just notice. And just give yourself a few more full, slow, steady breaths like that. And keep your hips back and low. Walk your hands over to the right side of your mat. And then as you press down through your hands, roll your left ribs towards your left thigh. So we just take some of the twist out, keep the focus more in the length on the side body. And then take a few full breaths into that space, all along your left side body, from armpit to hip. Let this first part of the practice be as much about creating space for breath as it is just creating space in your body. The two often really go hand in hand. And come back to center. Take a breath. And walk your hands over to your left. Right hip back and down, and then roll your right ribs towards your right thigh. Couple full breaths into the space of your right side body. You may even start to feel that little bit of expansion and contraction along the ribs. One of those areas that are compressed or a little tighter, sometimes it's hard to bring breath there. So as we create more space, let it be more room for breath. Walk your hands back to center. Take a full breath. Inhale, slide forward. Come to tabletop position, hands and knees. And just take a moment to set up your foundation so that shoulders are over wrists, hips are over knees. And then spread out wide through your fingertips like a fan with your hands and root down through fingertips. From here, move through a couple rounds of cat-cow. So as you inhale, arch your back, look forward. Exhale, press your hands into your mat, draw your chin towards your chest, and round through your back. And just start to link that movement with breath. Inhale, come forward, arch your back, look forward. And then exhale, press your hands down, chin to chest, round your back. And go slowly. You can match the breath and the movement together. Your breathing rate, your movement rate might be a little different from where my cues are. Just listen to where your breath is. Honor that first. And feel the fluidity of the spine here, that whole midsection of the body. This place that will work to find a little engagement here shortly and quickly. But for now, feel the range of motion, the fluidity, the rock of the pelvis, the movement of your belly. And then after your next round, no hurry, come back to center. Find that zip of your low belly up and in. So two pieces today, I like to think about it like you're pulling up the zipper on your pants. There's the low belly lift. And then that you're drawing in a drawstring on your pants, right? So that feels like side waist hugging in. And in that way, we start to engage not just the front abs that we think of as the core, but that support all around the torso. Okay, keep that, stretch your right leg out behind you, flex your foot, and turn your outer right hip down so that the pelvis feels more level. Right, when it lifts, it's just a compensation of our hips. It's easier when it lifts. As you roll it down, you might find a little bit more engagement through core. Okay, keep that. Reach your left arm out in front, turn your thumb up. Right, so balance already right here, diagonal balance. We start to find that engagement into midline. Press your left hand in toward center. You can imagine you're pressing right into someone else's hand. And then your right inner thigh in toward center as well. They don't have to move a lot, but that imaginary resistance to help the muscles turn on. Take a full breath in. And then exhale, bring your elbow to your knee. Pause, take an extra breath here. Press your right hand down. Round through your back, just like cat pose. And hug your heel up towards your glutes. Inhale, stretch back, open up. And then exhale, curl and round. Hug your knee up, draw your chin in, hug your heel up. Inhale, lengthen it back out. Now keep your right leg lifted, bring your left hand down. And then tuck your left toes under if they're not already. Take a full breath in. With your exhale, stretch all the way up and back, three-legged downward facing dog with your right leg high. Stay anchored through your hands. Level out through your pelvis, so outer right hip down. Take a full breath in. And then exhale, step your right foot all the way through. And if you need to grab the ankle, help it along, do that. Keep your left hand down. Reach your right arm up to twist. Right, a great variation here is you can always bring the back knee down for a little bit more support. Just see where you need to be today. And start to find the stability here as you squeeze your front heel towards your back toes. And then press down through your left hand, reach up through your right fingertips, and hug your right shoulder blade in towards your spine. And stay long out through the top of your head. And just take a few full breaths. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, step all the way forward to the front of your mat. Inhale, stretch forward, lengthen halfway. Exhale, fold. You can always take bent knees here. That might feel more supportive along your back line. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Then root down through your feet. Hug your inner legs towards center. Such a great way to keep that energy moving into midline. Zip up low belly, hug outer waist in. Right, and you might be able to access that differently in different orientations, like standing versus on hands and knees versus balancing. Okay, inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, keep that length in your spine, fold forward. Press down through your feet. Inhale, lengthen forward, lift halfway. Find that lift through your belly here. Exhale, fold, hands down, step back, high plank. Strong hands, press into your fingertips. Zip low belly, cinch outer waist. And then hug from your heels all the way up to your sitting bones. Take a full breath in. then exhale, forearm plank. Bring your elbows where your hands were. Press down through your hands, wrists, forearms. Think about that awareness, attention to center. Find the support from there. Breath in. And then just lower your hips down to your mat. Untuck your toes, Sphinx pose. And you might need to adjust a little so that we're looking for elbows under shoulders. Unless that feels like a lot of back bend right off the bat, then just walk your elbows forward a little bit more. And then press down again through hands and forearms. Traction your elbows back towards your hips. Lengthen your tailbone back towards your heels. And then open up through your chest. Find some space all along the front line of your body. Next, exhale, lower down. Bring your hands by your ribs. Press back, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. And exhale, bring your knees down to your mat. Walk your hands back so they're right under your shoulders again. Just so you line up that shoulders over wrists. Take a couple nice slow rounds of cat-cow. Match it with your breath. And when you're ready, come back to center. Zip up low belly, cinch outer waistline in. And just feel that support all around the midsection. Stretch your left leg out behind you. Flex your foot and then roll your inner left thigh up towards the ceiling. That might help to level the pelvis there and keep the support through midsection. And stretch your right arm out, turn your thumb up. And find that imaginary resistance as you press your right hand in towards center and your left inner thigh in. One side sometimes with balance is easier than the other, so just notice side to side how things feel. Good. Take a breath in, and then exhale, elbow to knee, but pause for that extra breath. Round through your back, chin to chest, hug your heel up. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, squeeze in. So really get that moment to refine the pose instead of it just being a stopover, and get the activation of the core with the curling in. Inhale, lengthen out. Keep your back leg lifted, bring your right hand down. Tuck your right toes under if they're not, and then press all the way back, three-legged downward facing dog. And keep outer left hip curling down and anchor through your fingertips. Take a breath in. Exhale, step all the way through. And if you want to help the ankle along, just so that your knee's right over your ankle. And either keep your back leg lifted or back knee down for a little bit more support. This time, bring your right hand down. Inhale, left arm up for twist. Squeeze your inner legs together. Press down through your right hand, reach up through your left fingertips, and then roll your left shoulder blade in towards your spine. And if your back leg is lifted, keep it strong. Right? Press the thigh up towards the ceiling. You can keep a little bend if that feels better for your low back. Just find the engagement there. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, step all the way forward. Inhale, lengthen forward, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Again, bend knees if that feels better. Anchor down. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Take a breath. Root down. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Press your feet down, lengthen forward, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, plant your hands, step back, plank. You can alternate which foot you step back with, just so it creates a little bit more balance there. Press your hands down, zip low belly, cinch outer waist in. Yep, we'll keep coming back to that. Take a full breath in, and then exhale, forearm plank. Again, you can always bring knees down for a little bit more support here. Press through hands, wrists, forearms. Traction your elbows back. Full breath in. And then exhale, bring your hips down, untuck your toes. You can either stay right here. Sphinx is plenty of back bend for a lot of us. Some people just naturally have more range of motion through their spine. If it feels like you have a little bit more, press into your hands, straighten your arms, seal pose. But stay strong through your legs. Press down through the tops of your feet, and then lengthen your tailbone back towards your heels. Couple full breaths all the way to your belly. And then lower down, hands by your ribs, stretch back down dog. Inhale, lift to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or hop front of your mat. Root your feet down, inhale, lengthen forward, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Take a breath. Inhale, reach both arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, sit back, chair pose. And then sweep your arms along your sides, like airplane arms, and turn your palms forward. Hug your shoulder blades back. Start by settling the weight back to your heels. Feel that stability there. Squeeze your inner legs in towards center. They don't have to touch, just find that engagement into midline. And lift up through belly, cinch outer waist in. So it feels like we're moving from that center line of the body. Take a full breath out. And then inhale, float up onto the balls of your feet. Exhale, slowly lower back down to your heels. Good. Inhale, float up. Just feel that shift to balance. Exhale, heels down. Good. Float up. You don't even have to lift high. Just getting heels off the mat will usually encourage some balancing the body. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, come to balls of your feet. Pause. Hug in. Move from your center. And then stay up on the balls of your feet. Inhale, come all the way to standing, reach up. And then exhale, heels down, fold forward. Good. Inhale, lengthen forward, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, hands down, step back, high plank. Good. Stay strong through your center. Take a breath in. Exhale, forearm plank. Good. Full breath in, lift belly, cinch outer waist. Full breath out. Come back up onto your hands, high plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. You'll take a couple full breaths. And so that when things start to feel a little wobbly as we balance, that we have this midline to come back to. This place that feels maybe a little bit more stable or helps us to move in that direction. Inhale, come to toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or hop front of your mat. Bring your hands to your hips. And then from your hips to your feet, root down. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, hands together at your heart. And then go ahead and start here with your feet together. That alone just helps bring the center of gravity in towards midline, as opposed to starting right, with your feet out wide and then you're coming off kilter from there. Find a focus point for your eyes. And then shift your weight onto your left foot. Bring your right foot in for tree pose. So if you want to do toes down like a kickstand, shin, or thigh, just notice where the right place is for you. Okay, you can keep hands to heart, or you can reach your arms up overhead. Whatever feels more appropriate in shoulders. Okay, steady your gaze, steady your breath, and then lift and zip up low belly, right? Zip around your pants, and then outer waistline, cinch in. right? We often think of the core just as this front belly, but really it wraps all the way around, almost like a corset, these muscles that help support us. And so just different ways to try and access that there. And then press your foot into your leg back into your foot to help you access that midline. And then press your foot into your leg and your leg back into your foot to help you access that midline. And one more full breath in. And then exhale, hands to heart, both feet down, take a breath. Switch sides, right? Bring your weight to your right foot and then your left leg up. Right? So if you want to do toes, shin, or foot to leg. If you're by a wall and you want that support, do that. Hands to prayer or reach your arms up. And take a moment just to steady your breath. As we're focusing on so many things in balance, the breath gets forgotten. And then bring your attention to your center. Find that access to core, to stability there. And then foot into leg, leg back into foot. Right? So there's that resistance into center line to bring a little more stability. Next, exhale, hands to heart. Bring both feet down, take a breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Press down with your feet, lengthen forward, lift halfway. Exhale, fold, hands down, step back, plank. Inhale in plank. Exhale, bent knees or straight legs, lower all the way to your belly. Good. Untuck your toes. This time, stretch your arms long back by your sides. Just take a breath. Lengthen your tailbone back and anchor the tops of your feet. From that stability, inhale, lift up through head, chest, arms. Reach your fingertips back. And here, just really trying to access that strength along the back side of the body. Right, so if you think about it, it's that whole stability of the core as it wraps around the torso. So the strength along the back body can really support us in our balance as well. And exhale, lower down, turn your head to one side, take a breath. And then bring your chin or forehead back to your mat. So different variations. You can stay here with hands down like we were first one, or interlace your hands behind you. Take a little bend in your elbows and work the palms of your hands together. Lengthen your tailbone, zip up through your belly. Inhale, lift up your head, chest, shoulders. And then you can stay here or float the legs up as well. Think about that as secondary, right? Our primary goal here is to access that strength along your spine. So find the variation that's best for you. And then just take 2 full breaths. Right, so enough support and strength along the torso, but also enough room for breath. Lower down, bring your hands by your ribs, stretch back, down dog. And just take a couple of breaths in down dog to find length in your spine again. So root down through your fingertips. Traction your hands down and forward as you stretch your hips back. Inhale, come to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward, walk, step, or hop front of your mat. Press down through your feet. Inhale, lengthen forward, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Okay, we're going to repeat that balancing on tiptoes. We'll do that a couple times, just trying to build on the stability each time. Inhale, reach arms up. Exhale, bend your knees, sit back. Sweep your arms back by your side, turn your palms forward. To start with, again, let the weight settle to your heels. Zip up through low belly, cinch outer waist in. All that support around the torso. And see if you can feel like you're moving from there instead of just the movements through legs, right? That's where we're using to lift, but the support comes from center. With your next inhale, lift up onto the balls of your feet, hug your inner legs, and then exhale, slowly lower heels back down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. Good. Lift up, inhale, stay on the balls of your feet. Find the stability through center. And then press down to the balls of your feet. Inhale, come all the way up, reach your arms up. Exhale, heels down, fold forward. If you fall or wobble, laugh a little, come back. Inhale, lengthen forward, lift halfway. We're like creating new muscle memory in our body. Exhale, fold, plant hands, step back, plank. Inhale in plank. Exhale, forearm plank. Root down through your hands, wrist, forearms. Stay supported through your core. Inhale, come back up onto hands. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a couple full breaths. Now, balance poses, some days they feel really solid. Some days it's really hard to hold. They're good for our sense of humor. So we're working from center. If we fall, we just come back. Okay, from here, inhale, right leg up and back. Exhale, step through. And then organize your feet here. So wider stance side to side is going to give you a little more stability. Narrower stance in towards center is going to challenge the balance. See what you need today. Press your feet down. Inhale, come all the way up. Reach your arms up. Exhale, bring your hands together at your heart. Here's another great time if you want to bring the back knee all the way down for a little bit more support. You are welcome to do that. Take a full breath in. Exhale, twist, left elbow across to the right. Okay, strong inner legs, hug into midline. And then back thigh strong, press up towards the ceiling. Even if there's a little bend, keep the strength. Lengthen out through the top of your head. And then twist, draw your right shoulder back, right ribs up towards the ceiling. Couple full breaths. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, hands down, step back, down dog. Okay, inhale, left leg up. Exhale, step through. All right, so again, decide if that side, first side felt a little wobbly, take your feet a little wider side to side. Then anchor your feet. Inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. Take a breath in here. Exhale, twist, right elbow across to the left. And squeeze your front heel towards your back toes. So you get that traction in towards the center. Back leg strong. Lengthen out through the top of your head. And then twist, rotate from there to get that range of motion, mobility through the torso. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, both hands down, step back, down dog. Inhale, side forward, high plank. Exhale, this time, bent knees or straight legs come all the way down. Okay, you can come back to either of those first two variations, arms long, hands interlaced, or bring your arms out like cactus shape. So that your elbows and your shoulders line up. And you can keep your forearms down to start with. Anchor the tops of your feet, lengthen your tailbone back. Right, that you might even feel draw your low belly up and in. Take a full breath out. Inhale, lift up your head, chest, arms. Hug your shoulder blades in towards your spine. And then away from your ears. And so you might find in these next couple variations you don't get as much height, But the weight of the arms usually gives you a little bit more strength along the back of your body. Right, stay here or float legs as well. And again, just think of that as secondary to turning on the strength along the back line. And exhale, lower down, turn your head to one side, take a breath. And then bring your chin or your forehead back to your mat. And so again, cactus arms, any of the other variations really, or interlace your hands behind your head. So towards the base of your skull, your neck, the back of your head, whatever works there. And strong through your torso, anchor through your feet. Inhale, lift up your head, chest, arms. And then lift your elbows up a little. They sometimes want to give into gravity there. Hug shoulders back and press the back of your head into your hands. Again, you might not get a huge amount of lift, but a lot of strength through your back. Stay there or float your legs up as well. A couple full breaths. And then lower down, hands by your ribs, press back down dog. Anchor your hands, stretch your hips back, find length in your spine. And from here, walk your hands back to your feet, come to the back end of your mat. Walk your feet in towards center, so inner edges of your feet together, inner legs together. Inhale, lift to your toes. Exhale, bend your knees, come down to squat. Right, so squat with knees together instead of knees wide. Okay, hug your inner legs. You might already start to feel a little bit of balance happening here, but you can take it in stages. And so keep fingertips down or one down, or bring hands to your knees. Hug into center. Find that stability through midline. Keep a steady focus point for your eyes. Right, stay here or bring hands to heart. And keep squeezing inner legs. Okay, stages. Stay here or twist left elbow across to the right. Hug in. Take a focus point for your gaze with you. So just find a new steady gaze point. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twist left and bring your right elbow across. Hug in. Steady gaze. Steady breath. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, hands down. Lift your hips, forward fold. Then bring hands to hips, press down from hips to feet. Inhale, come all the way up. And just different playful variations on our balance. Hands to heart to start. Okay, as you root down, lift up, cinch in. So create that stability here. Shift your weight onto your left foot, bring your right knee up, take a breath in. And as you exhale, take a step forward. Sweep your arms back just like we did in that chair pose, palms forward. And then float your left leg up, warrior three. Right, so you can work anywhere from toes an inch or two off your mat to back leg more parallel to the ground. Right, find the right place for you where there's some challenge, but some stability as well. And turn outer left hip down, cinch through belly and outer waist. And then just like we did in those belly down back bends, draw your shoulder blades in. Next, inhale, stand all the way up, bring your knee up, reach up. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Sweep your arms back. Lift your right leg up and back, warrior three, second side. Outer hip down, low belly up, outer waistline in. And then hug your shoulder blades onto your back. Right, so we're moving from this stability at center. Then arms and legs just move as an extension of that. And inhale, stand all the way up, knee up, arms up. Exhale, both feet down, hands to heart. Take a breath. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend your knees, sit back, chair. Okay, arms by your sides, last one. Full breath out. Inhale, lift to the balls of your feet. Stay. Hug in towards center. Then press down. Move from your center. Inhale, come all the way to standing. Balls of feet, reach your arms up. Pause. Right, from the midline, from center, then press down through feet, reach up through arms. Exhale, heels down, fold forward. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, step back, plank. Inhale in plank. Exhale, lift your hips up, down dog. Nice work. Full breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale, right knee behind right wrist, pigeon pose. Right, figure four on your back. Always a great variation if pigeon doesn't feel great on hips, knees, ankles. It's the same shape, just without so much pressure on top of the pose. Okay, if you're in pigeon, line up your left leg, and then keep a little bit of that strength in towards midline, so hug your legs in, and then draw the crease of your right hip back, line up your hips. Keep that as you fold forward. Right, you can come to forearms, you can make a pillow with hands. You could also side blanket or pillow if you have that underneath your right hip for a little bit more support. And then keep that stability of legs, but find a little softness through your torso. Right, just like we did at the beginning, can you feel breath now move to belly, side bodies, and back body? And so I think really important that we find this stability to center. Feels more integrated when we move from that place, but also that it's not firm and rigid. We take some time to soften, to allow, to move breath there. And take just a couple more breaths. And then walk your hands back, plant your hands, stretch back, down dog. If you're on your back for figure four, just stay there. You can lift your right leg up, and then both feet down, down dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left knee through behind left wrist. And you might choose figure four on one side, not the other. That's totally fine. Line up your right leg. Hug legs towards one another. And then draw your outer left hip back. Keep that as you fold forward. To forearms, to a pillow, to a block, whatever works there. And soften through the torso. Slow down breath. And so we definitely worked from that center. Those standing balance poses can require some activation in the outer hip. So just letting a little release, a little softness come there too. And take a few more breaths on this side. Walk your hands back, root through your hands, stretch back, down dog, reach your left leg up, take a breath in, and then exhale both feet down, bring your knees down to your mat, sit back to your heels. And then just one seated forward fold. So if you want a little support under your hips, blankets, pillow, blocks, whatever, grab that. Stretch your legs out in front. And then just flex your feet. Take a moment to anchor through your seat if that means moving the flesh around a little bit. We've done so much standing and that integration to center. Let the hips settle. Inhale, sweep both arms up. And then exhale, reach forward. So keep the length in your spine as you fold. Right? And for some of us, fold might be here, right? Or even here. You have a little bit more range of motion. Walk your hands forward. Stay long out through your spine. Right? If hands reach feet, great, go there. Right? Don't force it. And you press down through your heels, squeeze your kneecaps up towards your thighs. So you keep some stability in your legs even as you ask for a little bit of length. Then let your chin soften towards your chest and take a few breaths. When things feel a little bit wobbly, whether it's on our mat asking for balance, or more importantly, probably off of our mat, we start to get pulled in different directions. We feel off kilter, out of balance. We can do the same. We come back to center to feel that place where things feel more integrated, more stable, so that we move from there and not just always out from the extremities and the outer points. Physically in our bodies, but also just the way we navigate through our day. And walk yourself all the way back up. Slide off your support if you're on that. Come all the way down onto your back. Good. Shavasana, final resting pose. Let your body take up some space here. You can take your feet to the outer edges of your mat, either hands to your belly or out by your sides. Close your eyes. Just allow that whole back line of your body to settle and soften. Feel breath move all the way through your torso. You might even be able to feel here as you fill into the back body that little bit of resistance. As back body presses down to your mat. And then just let go of any effort with breath. And see if you can just allow the breath to continue like that full range of motion through your torso as you rest. If you have longer and you want to stay and rest, please do that. You're ready to come out, take some fuller breaths. And with your next inhale, take a full stretch. Reach your arms up overhead, lengthen out through your legs. And draw your knees towards your chest, roll to your side. Use your hands, press all the way back up to sitting. And bring your hands together at your heart. Anchor through your seat, sit tall, lift your heart to your hands. And then bow in head to heart. And to finding that place where we move from a little more stability, feels a little more integrated and centered. Thank you so much for practicing. Namaste.